Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we've reached that time of the month where I review all the books I read in the past month. So of course we're looking back at the month of June, and I had a pretty good reading month this month. I was really happy. Not only did I get through more books than previous months, I read 7 books. There are only 6 here, but that's because I lent one to a friend. But I also read a lot of really good books, including a bunch of 5-star reads, so I can't wait to tell you guys all about them. If you're excited for this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe down below to all the things. I really appreciate it, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so I know I said I've read a lot of 5-star reads and really good books this month, but honestly I didn't get off to a great start. I started with Happy Place by Emily Henry, which is her newest release, and I'm usually a big fan of Emily Henry books, and also a lot of people were really excited about this book and went on about how great it was and all sorts of stuff, so I was really excited going into it, but I just found it didn't live up to all of the hype. It was still a good book. Like, all of Emily Henry's books are good. I've just heard so much, and I held her up to such a high standard that I feel like this book let my expectations down. Personally, my favorite Emily Henry book is Beach Read, and Book Lovers is a second place one, but Happy Place definitely was my least favorite Emily Henry book. It was good, but I wouldn't go out of my way to read it, honestly. So that was a little bit disappointing. I'd say it was like a 3-star read, so definitely not bad. I just had such high expectations. That was the problem. Okay, the second book I read, I wanted to switch up the mood, so I went for a thriller. I read 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. She also wrote the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, which I haven't read yet, but I would like to read at some point because I really enjoyed this book, and apparently that series, I've heard people say that it's better than this book, so that sounds exciting because this is a really good book. So this is a standalone thriller, and it follows this girl Red and her 5 friends as they go on a road trip in an RV. However, the RV breaks down and a sniper starts targeting them, and basically one person has a big secret that they have to share in order for the sniper not to target them, but they don't know who the friend is that has the secret. Anyway, it was really good. A lot happened, and as you probably guessed, like, everyone sort of has secrets, everyone's holding back secrets, and they will kind of just get divulged as the story goes on. So it's a really good thriller. If thrillers are your thing, I would recommend. I'd say probably like 4.5-star read. Okay, the next book I read, I don't have the physical copy with me right now because it was so good I lent it off to a friend, and so it is a 5-star read, and that is 100 Days by Alice Pung. I'll put like a photo up on the screen now so you can see what it's like. I really enjoyed it. So it's actually set in Melbourne, which is always so weird because I'm so used to books set like in America and fantasy lands and all that stuff, but it was weird reading about places I've actually been to and actually are familiar with. Anyway, it follows this 16-year-old girl. She lives with her mum in commission flats, and it like shows a bit of her childhood and sort of what it was like for her. And her mum is an immigrant from Indonesia, I think. My mind's like getting cloudy, but anyway. And her mum is just really strict. And anyway, this girl does end up getting pregnant, and her mum goes crazy. She like locks her in their commission apartment during the pregnancy and sort of stuff like that. And it's just kind of, yeah, actually really eye-opening and crazy, and just shows a really different view of what goes on for some people who live right near us. And it's just a really intense book, and it really follows like the relationship between the girl and her mum, and yeah, it was really intense but a really good book, and I totally picked it up by chance, so would recommend, definitely. Okay, then after that full-on book, I wanted to go something lighter. I picked up Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. You guys will know, I think it's like, oh yeah, it's down here, I don't know if you can see, but The Love Hypothesis is one of my favorite rom-com books ever. I just love all the like STEM sciencey jokes mixed in, and this is exactly the same. A lot of people have said Love on the Brain is too similar to The Love Hypothesis for them. I think it's similar in the way that every author has a distinct writing style. Like, you look at Emily Henry's books, a lot of them are very similar. So of course Ali Hazelwood's writing style is similar across all of her books, but the story is quite different and the characters are really different. I personally think I preferred this to The Love Hypothesis. I don't know, I love The Love Hypothesis, but the main character B in this book is just so kick butt, and yeah, I really loved her, and I loved the story and everything. It was really, really good. So would recommend this for a nice, easy rom-com, and it was a 5 stars. Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Then I went away for a trip to South Australia for a bit, and I did a solid amount of reading, and this book hooked me in while I was there. I literally read this in like a couple of days, which I didn't think, because I'd never heard of the book before. I just randomly picked it up at the secondhand bookshop. This is The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth. It's a thriller, and it follows this couple with 2 young girls who live by the cliffside in Sorrento. Again, set in Melbourne or Victoria, which is really weird, but I like that. And anyway, people keep going to this cliffside to off themselves, essentially. I don't want to like get demonetized by YouTube or whatever, but anyway, and the husband of this woman keeps saving them before they jump off the cliff, and like he's known as the local hero for saving like 7 people, but the 8th person who goes to the cliff, he can't save her, and she ends up dying. And anyway, it just brings up like heaps of things start getting revealed about the husband and the lady who jumped off the cliff, and it keeps flipping between the perspective of the woman who died and the woman who lives on the cliff. And yeah, there's some big secrets and stuff going on, and it's really cool. It's typical thriller, really good. Again, if you're a thriller kind of person, get onto this. I loved it. I read it in 2 days. It was a 5-star read. Okay, another book, another 5-star read. When I say it was a good reading month, it was a good reading month. And I finally read The Help by Catherine Stockett. A lot of people have gone on about how this movie is so good and how the book is so good and yada yada. And I had this book, I got it from the secondhand bookshop ages ago, and I finally picked it up, and it was so good. It's set in the 60s, and it follows 3 women. One is a white woman who's writing about the lives of black women who are the help in Jackson, Mississippi, and then it follows 2 specific maids, and it is really, really, really good. I thought because it was like a historical fiction, it would be harder for me to read, but it really wasn't. It was really easy to follow and really hooked me and was really enjoyable. And then I followed it up by watching the movie, and can confirm that was like a really good representation of the book. So would recommend doing the combo of reading the book and then watching the movie. It was really, really, really good, and just like an eye-opening read. I loved it. 5 stars for The Help. And lucky last read of the month, and another 5 stars. I finally read Dance with Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. My best friend got this for me for my birthday last year, and that was over 6 months ago. And honestly, I wanted to read it. I've heard good things about it, but the book is thick and the font is small, and that was just intimidating. So yeah, it put me off, but I finally picked it up, and it is a full-on fantasy book. It definitely like involves a lot more thinking and brain power. It's one of those fantasy ones, and to be honest, I didn't get into it until probably like at least 50 pages into it. I was like still confused about what was going on, but once I got past that, it was really, really, really good. It was a 5-star read. It was so good, and there's a second book in this series, and I really, really want to read it. If you're someone who likes like the Bridge Kingdom duology or the Prison Healer trilogy, this book is exactly the same. It's just like the whole betrayal, romance, war kind of vibe. Very, very, very good, and solid 5 stars. So yeah, these are all the books I read this month. 7 books. I'm proud of myself for getting back into reading, and I loved so many of these books, like so many 5-star reads. It was really, really great, and just helpful for getting me out of that reading slump. I've already read 1 book, and I've almost finished the second book for July, so things are looking up for July too, so you can get excited for my July wrap up at the end of the month. Yeah. Anyway, this is the end of the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Turn on notifications down below. Comment if you've read any of these books and let me know your thoughts. I'd love to discuss them. Also, if you have any book recommendations, please also feel free to leave them, because I love talking books in the comments with you guys. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.